If you've got an important gig coming up, maybe it's your first ever show or a show where you want to leave a lasting impression to hopefully get more shows, this video is an absolute must. So in the lead up to the event, the very first thing you want to do is be crystal clear on what kind of music that event specializes in. So you turn up with the right kind of music, but also what time you're playing and where you're positioned on the lineup. So for instance, if you're not the headliner, and let's say it's your first show ever, they've probably got you on first, and you want to make a good impression, honestly, you don't want to step on the headliner's toes, and that means being mindful of what they may play. And if you wanted to take it a step further, go to the headliner's SoundCloud page, see what they're playing on their mixes, and basically avoid any of the tracks that they've used on their mixtapes. See, let's face it, right? If you're playing early, as tempting as it is to show everyone how amazing you are and how worthy you are to be the headliner, right? An opening DJ's role is really to build the atmosphere for the DJs that follow without stealing the show. And if you do steal the show, the chances are you're not going to be asked back because, you know, the headliners could actually be the promoters, the people that book the DJs. However, let's say you are playing after the headliner. Go nuts, okay? Play all the big tracks that he or she failed to play and just take the atmosphere even further. But you need to stick around as I'm going to dive a bit deeper into that in a minute, as honestly, this video is full of game-changing nuggets that you really need to hear. Okay, so now comes the super big questions. Do you pre-plan your set and know exactly what you're going to play in the exact order? Or do you just turn up with the right kind of music and freestyle based on the crowd's response to the track? Now, that means if you're freestyling, sure, you do some prep, but you're not putting tracks in an order. You're just turning up with the right kind of music and picking songs moment to moment based on the crowd's response. Either way, right, having the right kind of music is way more important than killer transitions. See, people on the dance floor, they care more about your track selection, and they're going to expect you to create atmosphere and ideally for your set to like evoke emotions and bring people together. That means curating music that you know people will love and having plenty of options in case the crowd is reacting differently to what you expected is really crucial. See, for instance, right, if you, let's say you pre-plan a set and the set's not working, you're going to want more options, and sometimes you may have an idea of what the crowd likes, but perhaps on that particular night you turn up with a set and they're not responding to those tracks, and let's say they're responding to more harder hitting tracks. Well, then you might have multiple playlists with different feels in each playlist that you can jump to based on what feels right at that night or at that time of night. However, if you really want your show to be ultra successful and make a huge impression, you need to do your best to make sure there's atmosphere in the room when you play. And that's going to mean making people aware that you're actually playing in the first place, so people are there for you. So in the lead up to your show, don't put 100% of your focus on the music. Instead, you need to put at least 50% of your attention on creating a buzz and energy for your show so people are there for you. So you put it this way, right? If you rock up and let's say you're the first DJ on, but you've got about a dozen people there to support you, that's the beginning of a dance floor. And from that, even more people will be drawn to the floor. And if those 12 people are really getting into it and they're cheering you on and just having a good time, that's going to bring a festive vibe to your set, and that's going to attract even more people. And if you're the first DJ and you're honestly using your set to really build the floor and it's going nuts, and you know, using your set as an opportunity to connect like-minded people through creating atmospheres that unite and bring people together, in my opinion, man, that's what DJing is all about. And there's no better feeling than playing to packed rooms. And even when you're starting out playing side rooms, and let's say the energy in your room is so big that you're pulling patrons from the main room to your room, you're essentially becoming the main attraction, and that's going to create a powerful impression. So in the lead up to the event, you have to build awareness, and you've got to let people know that you're playing, so, and share your excitement, you know, get people really juiced for it. So to create awareness, you could do some posts on your social media, but when doing that, don't make all your posts about promo, okay? You got to mix them up. You have to perhaps first share the art for the event, but let people know that you're playing in the first place, do your announcement. You could share some past photos from the events that the promoter has previously run, maybe even without you, to create a buzz for what people can kind of expect, what that promoter does. And then when you're doing that, even tag the promoter and the other DJs, as that no doubt is going to create a good impression and show that you're a team player. And then you could even talk to the promoter and let them know that you want to do some extra promo and want to create more buzz, and perhaps you could ask for some, VIP giveaways or something that you could give, maybe free or reduced entry or some kind of prize, and just to basically create and give people as many reasons to come as possible. And perhaps even you could bring in, that everyone loves doing this, but the fear of missing out vibe to it. So for instance, first release is just sold out, this is looking really big, get your tickets now. This is like, an event they don't want to miss. So a quick checklist of ways you can create buzz for your show, and you should aim for at least 3 of these, and that is VIP passes, giveaways, sharing the event art, sharing past event photos and videos from that promoter, share anything that creates a buzz and awareness for the party. You could even promote other DJs on the lineup. You could do a talking video where you personally invite people and let them know the plan for the night, and maybe even let them know, hey, after my set, you're going to be hanging around. You could even be hanging around before or after, invite people to come up and say hi. You may even associate your set to certain themes. So for instance, you may let people know, hey, this is your first ever DJ set. This is going down in history. Or announce that you're supporting this really big DJ and even plug that DJ. Or even that it's your first time working with this promoter and just like plug the promoter and share all their past work to create excitement and be like, wow, that you're playing on these big lineups and they're really important to you, and create an image of success for yourself. Now, another really cool angle is you may have a birthday coming up, or even a friend's birthday, and that in this way you can also, as well as those things, associate the event to the birthday. So for instance, you could say, hey, it's also Jessie's birthday and we're all celebrating her birthday at this party, which gives people even more reasons to go. And then if that was the case and you had a birthday, you could probably arrange some VIP passes and perhaps even some free drinks or a bottle of champagne for the birthday girl, make her feel special. And honestly, promoters, they're gonna love you for creating all this buzz for their event. And it's gonna make you valuable to them, especially if on the night, 1, you bring a good vibe to the party, 2, you have support, and 3, you're also an amazing DJ that creates a killer atmosphere when you play. That's honestly the hat trick. But here's the thing. Let's say you are playing and you do a kind of an average set, but you've got a lot of support. The atmosphere might carry you through. But if you do an average set and you've got no support, well, to be honest, then you don't have any of those 3 things, you're probably in trouble. So let me put it this way. My first ever DJ set was at the grand opening of my own nightclub. So I started my own event, okay? So here's the thing, if I focus solely on the music and no one knew about the event, I'd be playing to myself. And not only would I never get any repeat shows, but I'd lose the venue, okay? So what I did was this 6-week promo campaign in the lead up to the grand opening event with the goal of creating huge awareness to the event. And that way, when I play, I can play to full rooms, okay? But by doing so, if I'm playing to full rooms, I impress the venue. And also by doing so, then I can, run the event regularly. And that event went on to run, well, actually, I was a DJ promoter. That was where it started. But I went on to run. That was my sole source of income after that. Like, it took off for me because I was not only a good DJ that could build atmosphere in the room, and then I trained up my friends and all that to DJ with me, and we were creating this buzz. But then it just expanded. So I was actually running club events every single week. And then it expanded up the East Coast of Australia, and I was doing that every week. And just, I was a good promoter, good at creating buzz, good at creating reasons for people to be there. And at the end, venues just wanted to work with me. They're like reaching out to me to run events because I had a reputation. And when say you're a DJ doing that, like let's say I'm running parties, but you've got those DJs that really have a good following, they're really valuable to actually promoters. And if you're then helping the promoter, trust me, you're in. So always do your best to help the promoter, and by doing so, you become a valuable asset to the people that you work with, as you're the full package. So, you've got a cool, giving attitude, okay? You can get the word out and create a buzz around your shows, and that just builds momentum in time. And also you're working on your music, your talent, it's second to none. You know how to create atmosphere. Anyway, I do dive way deeper into all of this in my Club Ready DJ course, and I have this whole section called the Club Pack, where I share over 20 years of experience working in the music industry, and I have videos on how to get shows, how to build your contacts, how to market yourself as a DJ, even like videos, checklists, everything you need. And I've even got a whole section on running your own events and what it needs to make them successful. So I'll put a link in the description below. That's pretty cool. Okay, so it's a big night. I get it. You want to be a rock star and turn up 5 minutes before your set. But the truth is, unless you really are a star and you've got epic influence and the venue needs you more than you need them, honestly, don't do it, okay? Instead, if it was me, I'd arrive on my own before the doors open. I'd check out the DJ gear, check my USBs are working, perhaps do a mini sound check, just see it's all going. Maybe I'd go speak to the door girl, flirt with them a little, just be kind of nice, you know, make sure they've got my VIP list. And I'm sure I'm going to let the promoter know that I'm there, but I'm going to do my best not to create more work for them. See, the chances are the promoter's probably going to be very busy getting everything ready for the doors to open. But 100%, it's good for them to see you there. And once you've got all your stuff in order, maybe you could even ask them if they needed any help with the setup. And I remember once, like I had this event and this DJ turned up to play, and he turned up an hour before doors opened and he helped with the setup, and I was impressed by that. He played a killer set, and then he actually stayed and helped with the pack down afterwards. And then I saw him at the next event that I ran and he wasn't even billed to play. And after that, I invited him to play more and more as he was contributing in every way he could. And that really, really resonated with me. So, and that guy, by the way, he went on to be, really, really, really big in the local scene. So that'd be my advice when you're playing, do your best to get there as early as you can. Don't create any extra work for the promoters. Do what you can to help them. And then, stay late, hang out with the audience as well, and just try and contribute as much to the events as you possibly can. Anyway, back to the music side of things. Let's say now you're coming on to play. If you're playing first, be mindful to hold back and 100% play the cool vibe tracks, but not the fuck yeah, run to the dance floor tracks, okay? See, that being said, if let's say you've got a dozen or so people on the floor and your dance floor starts filling up, okay? Yeah, you can escalate your set with the crowd, but again, you want to be mindful not to step on the headliner's toes, okay? See, if you go too full on too early, you leave the headliners nowhere to go, and the chances are the headliners could also be the promoters or the organizers of the event, or at least close with the organizers. So burn them, and man, you're going to be the one that gets burnt. So be considerate of the event as a whole. See, the night needs to kind of be like this unfolding story. So don't be the guy. You've seen the movie before and you're telling people how it ends in the first hour, or in the first half hour or whatever, okay? Just don't go there, okay? So don't steal the show. So for instance, right, let's say you're playing a tech house party. You can play some Fisher B-sides, but I wouldn't play the big hits. That would be considered the fuck yeah, run to the dance floor tracks, okay? You got to play more the, man, this is awesome, not the fuck yeah, okay? So early, awesome, headliner, fuck yeah, okay? Now, if you are headlining, go nuts. And if you're on late, arrive early, see what's being played to avoid double ups. And also arrive early to see what people are responding to. See, personally, if I was coming on late or after the headliner, man, between you and me, I'd try and outdo the headliner and show people who the real headliner is, okay? And in truth, anything goes after the headliner, okay? Just not before, as the goal of the DJs playing late in the night is to keep people there. And if the doors are closing and you still have a room full of people cheering encore, you're gonna know you've nailed it, okay? As for getting wasted, this is tricky, okay? The irony is the event promoters and headline DJs may be wasted, and if they've invited you to get wasted with them and you're open to it, then perhaps I shouldn't say this, but you do you, okay? Like whatever feels right by you, as long as you're confident enough to play in that state, But let's say you're not in that inner circle, okay? I would hold back from getting noticeably wasted, as if you could come across as unprofessional and perhaps sloppy. See, and let's say you do need to drink, you're super nervous. Well, treat it like you're driving. Have 2 in the first hour, 1 every hour after that, and split it up with water, okay? See, let's face it, right? Being around wasted people, especially drunk people, can be tiring and test people's patience, especially if they're sober. And let's say the promoter's sober and you're really drunk, it may not be a good look. I personally feel one of the most important things outside of the actual music is using every single event as an opportunity to build your fan base. And the best way to do that is to hang around before and after the event. Now, I used to manage this band in Brisbane called Osaka Punch. They're really good actually, check them out. And they were the best at this. See, what they did was they would play and they would always hang around after the show, and they'd even go to the after parties with people. And by making the time to network and by simply being grateful to their fans for their support, it made their fans feel significant. And in truth, making people feel significant is the secret to building fans. And if you can do that by taking time for people, man, when you play, it's going to be huge, okay? Now, when socializing in the crowd, people may come up to you. So basically make an effort to learn their names, okay? And when speaking to them, give them your full attention, otherwise it can backfire, okay? Even add them on social media and let them know how much it actually means to you that they're there and how much, you appreciate their support. See, Osaka Punch, they were the best I have ever seen at this. And guess what? Every single show they played, it was a sellout, okay? Their fan base is huge and it's a really good group of people. And they also, yeah, sure, they were great musicians, but they were even better people and everyone loved and respected them. And they used their events to bring like-minded people together through music and atmosphere. And I know I say that a lot, but that's actually the goal of the DJ, okay? So here's the thing, if you build 5 new devoted fans per show, and that becomes your goal, in time you could be easily rocking up with 50 people that are there just for you because you've made them feel significant and your show is an opportunity to bring all these people together. And if you've got 50 people there, that's going to attract a lot of positive attention. And if you continue to network and socialize and treat your events as an opportunity to bring all these people together, before long, man, you're going to be headlining huge events and you could take off. See, too often what people do is they play and then they're tired and they want to get home for some reason that either sounds practical or made up. So for instance, I hear this all the time, oh man, I've got to go now, I've got work tomorrow. So, but here's the thing, if they knew they had work the next day, well, and they couldn't give the show that they've been offered all their attention, they shouldn't have taken the show. That being said though, if they've rocked up with 50 people and played amazingly, then perhaps they can afford these indiscretions. But let's say you're new and the promoter's giving you a chance, man, you got to stay out and you just go to work tired. So when you accept a show, commit to making a night out of it. And if you're only playing as a means to an end and not enjoying it as a means in itself, and you're not taking the time for your crowd, and then honestly, just don't expect anyone to take time for you. I know it's harsh, but this is the truth. See, this is what I love about DJing. It puts you in a real position to grow as a person and also as part of a community. So be part of that community. Anyway, another way to build fans and help people remember your name is to bring your own photographer, and the photographer can take photos of you, the event, and random people shots. And when they take shots, they can even hand out cards with your name on it, perhaps a barcode leading people to your pages. So then those people can go and see their photo, perhaps even tag themselves. And in short, by doing so, where attention goes, energy flows. And if honestly you're doing everything you can to turn your sets into exercises, into building culture around your sets, and people are becoming to know you through all these, hitting it from every single angle, then you're going to be the standout DJ with huge popularity. So let's face it, right? There's DJs that have reached huge levels of fame and success, perhaps because they've got like a pretty smile and because they're kind to people and they take time for their fans. Like sure, their track selection's great, but their networking skills are even better. And that means then people are rooting for them and it attracts opportunities and people want to work with them because they're friendly and they're kind. And sure, they can create a set, but that's almost secondary. Okay, not bragging, just giving you some perspective. In my time of running, club events, I ran events every single week for 17 years, often 3 events per week down the east coast of Australia. And, seldom though did DJs message me to thank me for the show. And the few that did, they earned my respect and often became residents, okay? So let's face it, right? Gratitude is the best attitude. And if you're a good person with a big heart and a love for music and club culture, and you're willing to support club culture, then people are going to be drawn to you. So if you want repeat shows, or you just want to be a decent person, right? Thank the promoter for having you through a direct message and even publicly. Now, when I say publicly, I mean, it's nice as a promoter for people to be saying, oh, how great your event is, okay? It really is. Like, I know that's ego stuff, but it's the truth. So let's say you do a post online, you tag the DJs and you tag the promoter and you're saying how much you loved it, and you've got like a video or pictures and you're making it look good. That's actually going to go down really, really well with the promoter. And then when you message the promoter and speak privately, you could just say how much you enjoyed playing with them and how professional it was, and maybe make it more about them than you, and just how much you liked playing on the team, and how you'd be very keen to play again, and how maybe you could even get more people next time, or I don't know. But you just, in short though, right, whether or not you're in open communication with the promoters, I would definitely always be sharing, liking, tagging, promoters, events and DJs that you want to work with, okay? And just basically talk up and support their events and shows. See, very people do this kind of level of support, but remember, when you do it to support the people in the scene, you become in that scene. And that's what it's all about, entering these scenes so people are seeing your name. It's a lot easier than you think. Sounds like you gotta do all this stuff, but you don't. And that means then you need to be taking every opportunity you can just to kind of support the people that you admire. But here's the thing, right? Let's say that you're like, well, actually, they're actually kind of dickheads, I don't admire them at all, and I don't really want to work for them, okay? And let's say there's no other events to play at. Well, then maybe you start your own, okay? Not to compete, but because you feel you have something special to offer. Now, I'll be honest with you, right? DJing can be the best feeling in the world, but no doubt you are going to have the odd bad night. Now, I'm not counting or anything like that, but I'd say usually it's mostly good, but maybe 1 in a dozen, okay? It might be a bad night, and bad nights can be soul crushing and can be avoided or minimized by doing some of the things I'm about to say now. So some of these things I have already covered, but here they are in point form. Okay, number 1, have the right kind of music. Be over prepared, have more music than you can possibly play in one night. Take 2 USB sticks and make sure the music has been run through rekordbox first. Have a slightly more commercial playlist in case it's a student crowd and you need to infuse some familiarity, even a cappellas, whatever. Commit to enjoying yourself no matter what happens. If the dance floor is dying, put on a track that you love. See, like I said, enjoy yourself no matter what. If the promoter starts blaming you, okay, for the bad night, decide what feels right for you, and it may just be setting boundaries or walking away from a toxic environment. If you can't even get shows, watch my Master Sex, Master DJing video, as you may be wanting it too much and pushing it away from you. Instead, you may need to learn to let go, to let in. Now, if your set goes really badly, it doesn't mean you're a bad DJ or that anything's wrong with you. It just means you have been given a valuable lesson and an opportunity to learn and grow, which may mean more preparation in future. Remember, no regrets, only lessons learned. Now, all in all, remember this, okay? And I say this so you can help, keep some perspective. Earth moves very fast. It spins in rotation at a speed of 1,000 miles per hour and orbits around the sun at a speed of 67,000 miles per hour. Our galaxy is moving through space, and in that sense, Earth is like a spaceship, and we are intergalactic travelers. In the grand scheme of things, don't sweat the small stuff, and it's all small stuff. Now, it's said that we're spiritual beings having a human experience, and that we all see the world based on our own filters and conditioning. So stop the self-fulfilling prophecies of not being able to get a gig or not having any friends or being too old to DJ, and instead decide what do you want, and know that if you can get excited about an idea, it already exists within you, and all you need to do is get out of your own way so the idea can come to the surface. Now, I heard meditation once compared to a plastic bottle full of air being held underwater. See, that resistance that we put on ourselves by trying to control the circumstances of our life is not our natural state. So instead, we just let go. And by doing so, we raise our vibration, and the ideas can then express themselves through us. And for the sake of this metaphor, you release the bottle and it flows effortlessly to the top, okay? So get clear on what you want and think, what can I do to achieve my goals? And when you do, focus on what's good and take time to celebrate your small victories. In this case, throw a party, invite everyone you know, because you just scored a gig on this amazing spaceship called Earth, and you're gonna make your life count by leading by example and inspiring others. And how do I know this? Because you wouldn't have watched this far unless you were meant to hear it. Honestly, we've got this. Anyway, thank you so much. This was a long video. In my Club Ready course, it's a bit more, well, it's laid out a lot more organized, and it's got point forms and notes and stuff. So 100%, I love the industry side of things. I know I've had past videos that share some of these ideas, but I thought it was time to kind of put them all into one video. And it's not like one big masterclass, but with the casual approach just for you guys. Anyway, thanks guys. See ya.